This is a place where I will share my creative adventures with you. We will talk about knitting and crafting, gardening and cooking, food preservation and building projects, and so much more. If this sounds good to you, let's get right to this week's creative adventures together.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Christy Creates Every Day. This is episode 7, which is blowing my mind. Today we have a special guest with us today. His name's Bob. He's a 4.5-year-old border collie. He's a rescue. His parents had to go back to the office after having him for 4 years, and he needed a new home. So Christy and I have adopted him. He is my dog, and he's going to live with me most of the time, or some of the time, and with Christy the other time. So he's here at my house with me, and he's just brand new, and he's not settled yet. So you're going to hear him throughout the video. He's kind of whiny, but I'm trying to take care of him. Anyway, so today's video is going to be exciting. It is, where do we start? Hey, Bob. Shh, shh, shh. Come here, Bob. We are starting with canning up some ground meat. I've got a mixture that I'm going to make, and it's not for everyone. It definitely has an odor as you open the can, but if you can get past that, it tastes great. It tastes like just like canned, just like freshly ground meat. It's super, super convenient. My son loves having it in his burritos, and it's really quite easy to do. You just need the proper tools. So we'll get into that. I talked you through making the jersey quilt for my son, which was really fun. It's a king size blanket. It's huge. It took a lot of time, but it was really fun to work on. It's definitely the biggest quilt I've ever made. Obviously, king size is as big as most people make. So that was a lot of fun. It's now in my booth at Christmas markets, and I'm getting a lot of questions about it. And then finally, I'm going to show you the Christmas markets and what I've been up to and why it's taken me so long to create episode 7, because I've been making stuff every day, absolutely, but I've been so busy making it that I haven't been filming. So let's dive right in. Ground meat. Well, as some of you know, Christy and I have rescued a 4.5-year-old border collie, and he is spending the day with Charlie today, and they are trying to get to know each other. And so we've got them in the background here. They're chewing bones, trying to relax. So you're going to hear a lot of maybe some dog chewing while we go, and probably breathing while we go through this video. So this is me making some ground meat. I've got some mixed meat here together. I've got pork and beef and probably turkey in there. I like to mix it all up and then whatever, buy what's on sale, freeze it, and then you get enough. Do a big batch day like this, get it all ground and cooked. You only have to cook it until it's slightly pink. You don't need to fully cook it. In fact, the best practice is to not fully cook it, but you do need to get it so that it's crumbly, so that when it goes into the jar, it won't be like a solid mass. Apparently the science says that if it's crumbly, the heat can transfer through the crumbly meat better than it could if the meat was sort of solid, like, I don't know, a can of like refried beans, the consistency of that. The people who do the research say that it's better to have it crumbly rather than solid like that, so that when you heat it up, the heat goes through and kills whatever it needs to kill to make this process safe. So here I am, just browning all the meat. I'm sorry I have no video, or audio. It's been a problem through this whole video. And here I am just showing you what it's like to can up this meat. I've used a funnel and just poured it in. I added some water and I'm debubbling it now. You can see the fat has already started to rise to the top of those jars. Just wiping them down with vinegar before I put the lids on and the rings, and then I'll get them into the pressure canner. Okay, our canned meat is totally at 0 pressure. You can take that off. There's no steam coming out. And I can just slide this over. It's still very warm in there though. And there we have it. I'll go get my tongs and we'll take these out of here. And there we have it. All of our meat. You can see that there is still a lot of action in these jars. That is the heat. This is what happens when you pressure can. The temperature gets so high inside these vessels that it retains the heat for a long time. Pretty cool, eh? So these will sit here now overnight, and then tomorrow I will wash them up, make sure the lids have sealed, and put them in the cupboard. I'm so excited. So here we are the morning after, and I am just checking to make sure that all of the lids have sealed, and they did this time. It was great. And I will get them washed up and put away in the cupboard until we need them. My family uses these for spaghetti sauce, sloppy joes, burritos, lots of burritos this time around. I was happy to have these on the shelf. Well, that ground meat couldn't be easier to make. It's so simple and it's so versatile. Once you've opened that jar, you can transform it into anything. You can just add whatever seasoning you're going to add it, make in the meal, and it's fantastic. We've already gone through all that meat. It's time for me to find more on sale and can it up. The next thing we dive right into is the jersey quilt. It was a lot of fun to make. Here we go. All right, we're about to get into a pretty lengthy video here about the jersey quilt I made for my son. He played rep hockey for, I don't know, I think 11 or 12 years. And he's no longer playing, he's now reffing, and I wanted to do something with all his jerseys. So I've created something called, well, I didn't create it. Well, I did, but there's a commercial product called Sash in the Dash, and it's meant for t-shirt quilts, which this is sort of based on. And it essentially creates a little pocket for your t-shirt squares to sit into so that you can connect them together. I think they're sold in only 9-inch strips, as far as I know, and that wouldn't have worked for me. And so I created my own Sash in the Dash just by taking pieces of narrow fabric, folding them a certain way so they create a little envelope, ironing them down so the creases are available to me so that when I go to sew, I know where the creases need to be on the quilt. I wish I had video or audio. I'm probably telling you something really important here. That piece there has already been quilted together with the batting and the backing. And I just did a stitch around the logo on that green piece. And here I am showing you what the pressed black sash looks like after it's come out of the iron, from under the iron. I'm going to sew two of these together to create a front and a back. And I'm just using that center seam line as my guide for when I sew. You'll see at the back of my machine I've already got other sashes I've already created, and I'm just chain sewing many of them together at once to save on thread and time. Just making sure my alignment's right. And I'm back tacking at the front and end of each one. And in this video, I'm going to demonstrate how I actually piece the two bits of jersey together using the sash. I open up the little pocket. It's okay, Bob. I squish the jersey into the pocket and I fold it back over the jersey, and then I'll pin it. And once it's all pinned, I'll take it over to the sewing machine and I will sew the sash onto the piece of jersey. Back stitch at the top and at the end. And I'll be careful to take out those pins as I come to them, because that's what my grandma taught me. And then once that whole edge is sewn, I will take it back to the table and I will take it to the next piece of jersey and I will open up the sash, like opening up an envelope, stick the jersey piece into the envelope, fold it back over, and I will pin it in place. And then I'll be able to take that over to the sewing machine and sew it up. So I start by making all of the rows at once, and then once the rows are put together, I start to join the rows. And this is me joining the rows here. I just roll up all the excess quilt material like you would with any other quilt, and I put it under the throat area of the sewing machine, and I just sew them together. I don't think I've got my walking foot on here. It would have been very helpful if I had it on, but I think it arrived the next week and I started using it after that. And when I wasn't actually quilting on it, I would put it on my bed, and sometimes Charlie would help me, or I'd put it over the banister and admire it. You get all those jerseys, having all those memories. And when it was finally finished, we took it outside and put it on the grass and just admired all the hard work that went into it. And here it is in the backyard. And this is a quick picture of me and my first quilt I made over 20 years ago. So while that jersey quilt was a lot of fun to make, and it was filled with a lot of happy memories, I've also made some other more sentimental quilted items using people's loved ones' clothes that have passed away. That started a long time ago when when my grandfather found hand embroidered pillowcases that my great grandmothers made, and he wanted them preserved into something else for his daughter, so for my aunt. And so I carefully cut the pillowcases, and I found some complementary fabrics, and I made them into a quilt for her. Just a decorative wall hanging, not huge, but one that highlighted her grandmother's quilt or hand embroidery, and just put it together as something she could keep until it dissolves. The cotton it just doesn't last forever. And since then, I've done other things for people. That same grandfather has since passed away, and I've made memory pillows out of clothes that he had. I've made a couple of aprons for people out of their dad's dress shirts, and currently I've got a couple of quilts on the go for people using their loved ones' clothes, and they'll be lap quilts. So it's a nice thing to be able to do for people to bring back some memories. The quilt I'm working on right now has a lot of ties involved, like neckties, and one of them is actually still tied by the man who used to wear it, and so I'm trying to find a creative way to incorporate that in a way that shows and displays the tie as he left it, which is pretty exciting. All right, the last thing that we're going to go through in this video is Christmas markets. Bob, you've been so good. So good. Come here, Bob. So here's a bunch of just images and some voiceovers of things I've been working on that have made me really excited. I wake up in the morning having thought about them in my dreams all night and getting really excited about what I can make and how I can make them unique and how I can make them special for people to receive. Here we go. So this was at my first market a few weeks ago, just around the corner from my house. I had a lot of fun. I had 2 tables set up and could spread my stuff everywhere. It was great. People were really pleased with the things. This is the second fair I was in. I was able to spread a lot of things out. I had a new display for my tea towels, which is one of my best sellers. And I just love this little tree with my ornaments on it. That's my second best seller. People loved the tea towels. Some of them completely sold out, some of the sets. It was a lot of fun. And then this is my third setup where I was able to display my wood bunting for the first time. That was great. And I had a huge window to stand next to, which was great. It totally lit up my booth, which was really nice. And I was next to a Scentsy person, and they had nice smells coming from their table, so that was really helpful. These are some walker caddies at the bottom that I made just for this. And this is what got me into it. A little while ago, I was traveling with my friends, and I saw these tea towels, and I thought, I can make them a little cuter. And so I made them. This is some fire starter that I have for sale. These are the wood buntings I made. So many scrunchies. That was a lot of fun with upcycled kids' clothing. This is a one-of-a-kind Santa's tree farm. There's a birthday hat. All those numbers are magnetic. You can change them to whatever number you're celebrating. I've got a few charcuterie boards left. This is a fun sort of countdown, days until something, and so I just, put like 3 days till Disney or something. These are all bookmarks, which are free with purchase. People love that. These are little makeup wipes. They're cotton. There's 3 in a pack. These are covered, lined notebooks. Some are festive, some are just normal fabrics. These are all sugar scrubs. I think I have 8 different flavors. These are Christmas bags that do up with a little lace tie. These are little tissue pouches my mom makes and sells. These are all cute little decorative reindeer, which are so fun to make. These are hockey puck ornaments. Each one's an ornament that hangs from a tree or wherever. These are reusable cotton ribbons and bows. These are not paper towels. They're made of flannel. You can just throw them in the wash when you're done. And the next section is all commission work I've received lately through different places, fixing a hole in a blanket, making these little baby booties. Cheer Mom wrote to me and asked me if I could make her doll's clothes match her daughter's outfit for the year. So that's been a lot of fun. Okay, if you have made it this far in the video, thank you. You've been patient with me and Bob and all the noise in the background. He's been such a good boy. I'm sure he's full of confusion and frustration. He doesn't know where he is or where his people are and who am I and what am I doing with him, but I think he's gonna fit in just fine here. So it's been a lot of fun. I know it's been a long time since I posted my last video, but I've been incredibly busy creating every day and unfortunately not recording all of it, but I'm glad to share this all with you. It's been super exciting. Being in my first craft fair was a little nerve-wracking, but they say you should try something that scares you a little bit every day. So I was a little nervous. Who knew? I didn't know if anyone would respond well to my stuff, but since I've started in craft fairs, I have made over $800 in sales. So I'm pretty happy with that. I've got 2 more days of sales left in the middle of December, and we'll see what happens there. Anyways, I wanted to share with you a few things that have made me smile over the last, few weeks since I've posted. I hope they make you smile too. Thanks for being here. Bye.